What's up guys, this is Drago J coming back with another video. What if Deku was Escanor, part 1. We are at the end of 7 Deadly Sins when Escanor is dying, but his soul shall live on in his next life. But instead of being reincarnated, his soul gets transported to a different dimension. The dimension of My Hero Academia. We officially begin our journey at the birth of Izuku Midoriya. As he is being born, the soul of Escanor makes its way into his body. As the two merge, a warmth is emitted by baby Izuku. The doctors feel this warmth and think this boy must have one powerful quirk. But as soon as those two are done merging, the heat suddenly goes away, and he is handed to his mother. He's sweating and he falls asleep as she's holding baby Izuku. We're gonna do a 4-year time skip, and I would like to note to you all that he will not have the curse that he will turn small at night. He will have his power in a very fit build, and instead he will look 1 year older than he is. Okay, back to the what if. At the age of 4, Izuku already knew that he didn't have a quirk, but a power called Sunshine. But Inko still wanted him to go to the doctor because of his unusual physique and the tattoo that appeared on his back when he was born. She thought that he had a super strength or some type of physical enhancement quirk. So just to appease his mother, he went along, and what do you know? He doesn't have a quirk. When the doctor gave the news, and Inko was sad for Izuku, but when she looked over to him, he wasn't sad or crying. He honestly didn't care, but was a little sad about his mom. He knew she was worried about him, so just to make his mom feel better, he made a smaller version of Cruel Sun, and the doctor was surprised and had no choice but to put it down as Izuku having a quirk. Inko was happy that she couldn't stop tears from flowing. That's when the doctor asks if he can turn it off, so Izuku does. And the doctor said, "So kid, what's the quirk's name gonna be?" Izuku thinks about it for a minute and decides to name his quirk Sunshine. And as he speaks it, a small version of Cruel Sun disappears, and he rides along home with his mother. On the ride home, Inko is just smiley and cheery, which makes Izuku happy. But then he starts to look out the window, thinking, should I tell her about my past life? Maybe I should keep it to myself. The next day, he goes to school in the morning, as his mom drops him off, saying, "Have a good day at school, honey." Izuku says, "Okay, Mom," and goes into the preschool. Everybody in his class has their quirk, including his best friend, Katsuki Bakugo. Bakugo shows off his quirk to everybody in his class as he starts to develop his complex. "You extras need to get out of my way." He goes up to his friend Izuku and says, "Hey Deku, what's your quirk?" My quirk is Sunshine, Kachan." He says, "What is Sunshine?" Deku puts up his hand and starts to form a little sun around inside the classroom. Everyone starts to feel the immense heat coming off of it, and the teachers are very surprised and happy for Izuku, and all his classmates start to crowd him. This is when Bakugo gets the feeling that he is being shown up by his childhood friend, and starts to resent him, saying, "Oh, but I bet my quirk is better than yours, Izuku," says Kachan. Bakugo goes up to Izuku and starts spreading out small explosions from his hand, one after another, popping them in the air. But then it just gets engulfed by the small sun that Izuku made and gets put out. Kachan starts to feel a little bad about this and runs away. Izuku turns it off and goes after Kachan, saying, "Oh no, what have I done?" He runs after Kachan and says, "Hey, are you okay?" Kachan says, "Leave me alone, Deku." Bakugo pushes him on the ground and says, "You're nothing but a useless Deku." Izuku gets back up and says, "No, I'm not." And then he goes and walks away because he's reflecting on how his friend treated him. Deku thinks about this for a minute. He's like, "I guess we're not friends anymore, but I'll still treat him well." We're gonna skip to the last day of middle school. The teacher comes in the classroom and says, "I'm gonna hand out all of your job application forms today for your career." Everybody looks at the teacher like he's crazy, and the teacher just throws the paper in there like, "I'm joking, I know all of you want to be heroes." Everybody in the classroom starts to show off their quirk one after another, but the only two who don't are Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo gets up and says, "Settle down, all you extras." The teacher says that, "I see that we have 2 people who want to go to UA this year. Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya." Everyone starts to whisper, "Wow, they both do have really good quirks. I bet they both can get in. Especially Izuku. Look at him, he looks like a beast." As everybody's talking and whispering, Bakugo looks at Izuku with a skull and just scoffs and sits down. We go to the end of the day, and we have Izuku packing his stuff up to go home. Bakugo walks up to him and says, "Hey Deku, what is this or that about you going to UA? I'm supposed to be the only one from this crappy school going there." Izuku doesn't really care and just gets up, towering over Bakugo by a good 2 feet. He's saying nothing, just walking past him and walking home. Thinking, wow, gosh, he's really got that attitude. But as he's walking home, he senses something coming from the drain that's he's walking from under the bridge. So pops out a sludge monster. And the sludge villain says, "Give me your body, kid. I didn't know that freak was gonna be in town." The sludge villain jumps out Izuku, but then feels a sudden heat growing. Izuku's not even using his power, he just increased his body heat to the point which boils anything that's near him. The sludge villain starts to boil bit by bit and slowly tries to get away from Izuku, but Izuku starts to walk towards it, saying, "Do you not know pride? Do you not know who I am? I'm not in the mood for this today." Izuku keeps walking towards him and says, "You have no right to stand before me, demanding my body." And the sludge villain says, "What are you, kid?" Deku doesn't say anything, he just keeps walking towards him. But then out of nowhere, he gets surprised as All Might jumps through the sewer at him, saying, "I am here." Izuku looks over to All Might and says, "Wow, he's pretty impressive." And he just turns down the heat, and All Might throws a Detroit Smash at the sludge villain, and the sludge villain gets scattered everywhere. Izuku helps All Might collect the sludge villain up in 2 bottles. And All Might says, "Thanks for the help, kid." Izuku says, "Yeah, no problem." Next thing that happened is Izuku watching All Might jump away. Izuku says, "Wow, what an unexpected day." He walks all the way home, and there isn't going to be a second sludge villain attack since Deku didn't hold on to him. As Deku gets home, he says hi to his mother, and then he goes up to his room, wondering what he should do for the next 10 months. And this is where Deku pulls out a notebook from his drawer, designing his costume, his superhero outfit. And as he's doing this, he thinks of ideas, ways to train his body and his ability. And we're gonna have a 10-month time skip to the day of the UA entrance exam. As Deku and Escanor's souls are completely merged together, that doesn't mean that Deku isn't smart. He's really smart actually. with a knowledge of 2 worlds. He aces the written exam and goes to the city of UA, waiting for the practical exam. As President Mike announces, the will be beginning in 3, 2. But before he can finish, Izuku blows open the doors and jumps in. One after another, he destroys robot after robot. All the other participants is looking at him like, isn't this cheating? President Mike goes over the intercom saying, you're supposed to be heroes. We don't wait to save people. Everyone else starts to rush in, destroying monsters. By the middle of the exam, Izuku already has 150 villain points. He says maybe I should leave some for the rest. And he goes onto a roof sitting down. Inside the teacher's observation box, Nezu and all the other UA teachers are wondering, who is this kid? Aizawa asks Nezu what is his quirk. He says it's written down as sunshine. And it's not just a heat-based power. It also increases his physical abilities. This kid is actually only 15. All the teachers are looking at him like, really? By the time that Nezu presses the big red button saying, maybe we should test this kid's abilities.